Lastly, for tonight then, we have Timothy Otte. Timothy Otte is an art maker. He writes texts that are meant to be both read and performed. His work has appeared in Paper Darts and at the Minnesota Fringe Festival. He is Senior Editorial Assistant at Hazel and Wren and is a 2014-2015 Loft Mentor Series winner. He is from and lives in the Twin Cities. Please welcome Timothy.
Thank you, everyone. I was informed recently by my dad, who is here tonight, that my grandfather worked in this building back when it was a pharmacy. So this feels really right for me right now. So I'm in the middle of working on a manuscript right now called Feathermucker, and I'm going to read a few pieces from this tonight, including one that was inspired by my shenanigans growing up in St. Paul. So this first piece is called Feathermucker, subtitled, You Thought It Was Night. A cage of ribs pointing toward the sky. This winged thing, no longer feathered, hardly flesh. What's left is part of the concrete, part of the native city, a lump of calcium, a hard, sharp beak, half open, a caw, a cry of fear, a sigh. What creature was this that fell broken into the gutter, the ditch? Ribs pointing at the sky. Let your eyes follow their arc into the dark air. You think it's night, but it's bodiless feathers blocking the light of the sun. This one is called Weather Lurker. I don't want to navigate a new coast, join any navy, or see lakes rise and join. I don't want to spin in the whirlpool's vortex until my skin and bones are mud and leaves. I want to be the last scared generation, give birth to the first sacred generation. I want my landscape to be written in green and blue, cross-hatched on fields of yellow. I don't want to fade like the spines of books or shatter like a glass of water rattled off the table by an earthquake. I don't want to witness the death of a body of water. I want to stretch across the page like prose, not be caught short and broken like poetry. I don't want to be picked clean by crabs and eels until there is no memory of fat or muscle clinging to my architecture. I don't want to die in the dark. I don't want to die in the ocean. This one is also called Weather Lurker. When spring came, it was like a fever breaking. We were freed from the choke of winter's illness and shed our coats to bathe in sunlight. Morning found us wandering aimlessly, chasing a breeze that might cure the disease stale air had laid upon us. But when the trees blossomed, I nearly cried, joyless tears staining the concrete at my feet. It looked like autumn, all reds and browns and golds. I wanted green leaves. I wanted summer, but was turned back. I climbed to pluck a leaf, and instead found feathers from every native bird. I saw robin, cardinal, sparrow, finch, and bobolink, a scattering of crow. The earth caught the cold we had. The trees were ablaze like a fever. This last one, like I said, was inspired by tramping around the Mississippi River in St. Paul, especially along where Summit Avenue runs into River Road, with all of my friends from high school. It's called Heather Walker. When my ashes have been scattered and my footprints are swept from the sand, meet me at the river's elbow, where rock throws itself into air, where we watched as the sun settled into the skyline of our northern cradle, and guessed at the faces of our future lovers. It was there we found our Genesis, penned in our own hand, stuffed into bottles of malt liquor. Those boats floated downstream with our epistles safely sealed inside. We never heard from those southern disciples on whom we called. never found our distant cousins. Each prophecy was different, but each of us imagined an end time. And each of us ruined our home with fire. We foretold our own ends, cancer, accident, or old age. I imagined a distant future failure of my heart as I lay warm beside a lover who I did not know well enough to name lover. Meet me on the river, where we burned holes into the hard ice with our cigarettes, where we buried furtive scrolls on the beach for future generations. That river whose banks we marked with our inks and charcoals, writing our exodus on the bare trees. Did we imagine those frail lines survive the winter? Did we think our words so profound that they would not run come the thaw? Those inks added imperceptibly to the flood that spring, but the waters did not wash us sinners away, no, nor cleanse us. We boldly sat there midstream on the ice, warming our bellies with stolen whiskey and pancakes, passing a joint and a notebook between us, recording the sounds. Inhale, creak of ice, exhale, slosh of water just centimeters below our feet. Inhale, cough, silence. If you cannot see the signs of civilization, it is easy to forget that civilization can always see you. I will be between those trees, underneath the stones we stacked to mark where we had been, separating what we knew in the east from where we had yet to go in the west. I will be suspended in the stunted branches, held aloft by my own weightless spirit, weighted down by the names we gave those places and each other. Cradle of life, sea of future children, lord of night, empress of sand. Our visions of the world so much more noble than the world itself. When my body has been burned free, meet me where I was, where I am. By then the earth will be shifted a little to the east or west, and warmer than when we left, as though the heat of bodies passing through had accumulated in the molecules of place. Thank you.